Before we check in with Dana, it is the first day of spring, and that means cherry blossom trees in D.C. are nearing peak bloom. Right now, they are in stage 3, which is halfway to stage 6 and peak. The National Park Service says peak bloom is likely to take place between March 28th and 31st. However, the temperature will have an impact on when exactly the cherry blossoms will peak. Just another sign of spring.
Another sign of spring. I've actually always wanted to go see the cherry blossoms.
Same.
I've never seen it, but I know it's so difficult to plan for exactly when they would be at peak, but one day.
It's kind of like here, you never really know exactly when the foliage is going to hit.
That's very
peak.
True. Okay, so it's like their version of the foliage is cherry blossoms and ours is in fall.
Yeah.
Today, though, not feeling very spring-like, Amanda.
No.
I'm sorry. Today has been cold, it's been dreary, it's been drizzly. I was out on the weather deck earlier and I could see the mist and drizzle droplets in the air in front of me, and our temperatures across the state have responded. We're actually closer to average, but it still feels cold and a little bit gloomy today. High temperatures mostly in the 40s, but you can see in areas of Vermont and New Hampshire where there was some sunshine today, temperatures were significantly warmer. And a lot of us were on the chilly side because of the fog bank. I think the visible satellite imagery shows it really well. Once you get to about 7, 8 in the morning, all of a sudden it pops up and it's been sticking around all day, and we're still going to see a lot of cloud cover overnight. But it's also going to come with some rain. The low pressure system that we're watching here is right now bringing some rain and snow to areas of the Great Lakes, and within the next few hours they'll start to move closer to Maine, bringing us the precipitation instead. So overnight tonight, we'll still have that dreary and drizzly mess hanging around. Could even see a couple of prefrontal showers, but most of the heavy rain will move in before sunrise early Friday morning. This is a look at Friday at 2 a.m., starting to see that precip move into New Hampshire and western Maine. By around 8 a.m., seeing rain closer to the coast and then some heavy wet snow in areas of the mountains and the foothills. So for the morning commute, I would just leave yourself a couple extra minutes knowing that the precip's going to be around. Then once we get to about 10 a.m. on Friday, still at this point seeing a lot of precip across the state here. You might see some flakes closer to areas of the coastline, but those aren't going to be able to accumulate because temperatures there will be a bit too warm. By the time we get to the second half of the day, we do start to clear out a little bit of western Maine and New Hampshire, but central through down east Maine still seeing precip at that time, taking a little while for it to finally clear out. But once that front clears, we end up with a really nice weekend, especially for the day on Saturday. So in terms of our snowfall forecast, widespread 1 to 3 inches in areas of northern Maine of that heavy and wet snow. A coating possible through central Maine, areas like Lewiston, Augusta, and Bangor. And then along the immediate coastline, you might see some flakes in the air, but it's going to be too warm to accumulate, so just a cold rain for the coast. The weekend, I think, looks really nice. There is a chance of an isolated mountain snow shower, and that would be Saturday during the overnight hours. But I think in total, at least during the day for Maine Maple Weekend, it looks like a good weekend. The next system that we'll be watching is an area of low pressure moving in for Monday. This one looks a little bit colder, and we could actually see some widespread snow here all the way down to the coastline. A very interesting system, so one that we'll be keeping a very close eye on as we get into the weekend. Marine forecast sees 3 to 6 feet. Ocean temp is 40 degrees. Got a small craft advisory in effect until Saturday at 8 a.m. So in terms of our 7-day forecast, the dreariness will continue overnight tonight, and then we'll get a lot more precip moving in for the day tomorrow. Most of that closer to the coast will end up being some heavy rain, and then as areas inland will see some heavier wet snow. Could see accumulations up to 1 to 3 inches in the mountains. Then for the weekend, that front is able to clear out pretty nicely. I think Saturday, in my opinion, is the better of the 2 weekend days. It'll be a bit warmer, lots of sunshine, and it won't be windy as Sunday, which will be about 10 degrees colder. Then we'll be watching a system for Monday that could bring some more widespread snow to the state, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that one. So Amanda, I recommend enjoying the weekend where we're going to see a lot of sunshine, because if you look at next week, we have a couple of chances of precip that we're going to watch. It's going to be a bit of an unsettled one, so I'm excited for Maine Maple Weekend, and then I'll keep my umbrella for next week.
Fair enough. All right, Dana, thank you.